Do this. Somebody needs to show me how I can get the link to post it without having to go to Twitch to get it. Without having to go to Twitch to get it. Without having to go to Twitch to get it. Ooh, there we go. Copy, and let's paste this to Discord. So that anyone who wants to join may. And let's go to, let's see, Twitch. Okay, so now that that's all done and it's set up, how is everybody today? This is my first stream since my heart attack a week ago. Just wanted to get on, show everybody, still here, still kicking, still playing the game, having fun. Maybe do, cover a few things if anybody jumps in with some questions answered or has some suggestions or, whatever they may want to do. So, with that said, I'm doing my guild jobs at the moment. Just want to take a moment, see where I'm at. I think I killed this guy 3 times. Yep, off to Courageous, last one. So I've been working all week, just trying to get things back on track again. Don't really have a plan for this stream at the moment, but I can cover some stuff if somebody has something. Angela's almost to that 210 mark, so I can get that 3rd gold star. I've been working pretty hard to meet all the requirements for it. Get that final boost until they drop the new stuff. I've been looking at the other servers and seeing how unpopulated or they are at the moment. If anybody has any other suggestions like I did to maybe move the active players to all to one server, let me know what you think about that idea. I mean, the devs kind of thought it was kind of interesting. That they were going to throw it out there and see what people thought. So if you have a suggestion on it, if you like that suggestion, then go to the Summoner's Glory Discord and leave an opinion on whether they should move the active players to their own server. See if we can't make it a little bit better populated for everybody who's still playing. Hello, FTO. What do you think of that idea? Do you think they should move the active players to their own server so that it's easier for everybody to summon their epics and do the dungeons? Or do you think they should just leave the servers as they are? If you think it's just fine, what do you think of that? Should they reorganize the servers? I mean, they were talking about it. Taking everybody from server 2 and spreading them out across the entire game. I think it would be a lot better considering this is, more of a team-based game. And having to run 3 characters myself just to be able to have a team nowadays that's actually on is annoying. I don't like doing everything 3 times. I'd rather just run Angela. But I'm also not going to stifle Angela's growth by not having people to run dungeons with, or in the case of guild jobs, to help the guild fill up the guild quests here. As you see, quite a few not here. It's not filled out at all, hardly anymore. It used to get up there every single day, all the way. These do come in handy, along with the gold, obviously, always does. These here, though, allow you to go in and buy up, like for clock, you can buy a copy of clock through the store. Where was that? Oh, yeah. Down here in the shop. And so you can fill up your clock's skills real quick and easy by getting these. Well, if nobody's running the guild quests anymore, then you don't get your coins for it. So, consideration. It would make it easier for guilds to do that if they had more active players. You also have Haley up here, who is really helpful. Any of these other ones can be food to help you evo people. But at the moment, the way it's sitting, if you're not playing like I am, then unfortunately you miss out on that kind of stuff. My clock, of course, I've already used that a few times, so I'll just show you that it does come in handy. He's got all 4s here, everything's all skilled out. Not even playing with it. Getting him up there as fast as possible. It's the easiest way to max clock out. Use those plus whatever other ones you get from the summons. Looks like FTO decided to take off, so we won't get his opinion on the subject. The other day I ended up getting Natasha's puppet up to 180, which should make GVH a little bit easier. So that's going to be one of the plans I'm going to do here, is run some GVH. Let's cancel those little red dots. Get a little bit more energy. I need to do some gold runs. I'll have to ask the guild to start a couple of runs here for us a little bit later. But like I said, I do plan on running a couple of GVHs at least, just to test out and see how much better it works with a 180 puppet instead of a 160. Now, all her runes are not done yet, but they're up there good enough too, where she should work just fine in there. So let's see how these guys are doing on their quest, so I can get done with this. Yep, there we go. There's the gold books. 3 gold books. It comes with all the other nice little rewards there. And I'm going to head right over to GVH. Once I get in, start off. Go into the explanation of why I run, who I run where. With the 3 different accounts, I can pretty much streamline my team. Makes it helpful. Squad formation. We got Haley. And the clock here, I'm working on getting him up there. Let's see what we got. Nope, doesn't look like quite enough to take him up without a little bit of work. I would like to get him to 5 so that I don't have use, so he's not getting killed all the time. 140 is pretty much good, really good for carrying. If your people aren't 140, then it makes it hard for somebody to carry you because they're getting killed all the time. Now I can throw Drac or Lord of Shadows in if needed. Let's just do a little bit of quick check. Yeah, see, I don't want to mix those together. Let's take those up. Nope, still can't create another 3. Well, maybe. Let's see, I got to create a 3. Actually, 2 3s, and then, which will give me a 4, and then take up another one. And here's the other 4. So I just actually, to get clock up to 5, I only need to make one more 4. Let's see what we can do about that real quick. Should be able to get at least really close with this. Oh, that's right. My bad. Leave the squad temporarily. Leave the 2 girls sitting where they're at. And let's open some books. Now these silvers are really good for food. Or stuff to evo your characters. And if you notice with BlueStacks, I've got a macro set up just for opening books, so over 100 books shouldn't take too long. He's just going to sit there and burn through them real quick. He's done with that, I'll do the golds. I'm saving my epics at the moment. I'd like to get something nice when the new patch drops. Asked them the other day, they said they're just finishing it up. So we'll just have to wait to see. The answer of soon is still their answer for when it's going to drop. There's no date, no suggested date. I have also, put in my name to get to play on the test server. Have not heard anything back from them yet on that. I don't know if they want to wait a little bit longer to let people on the test server. Maybe wait till they get the stuff done. I have heard that some people are playing on it already. Mostly devs or, the helpers that you can run into on Discord that can answer questions, help you out with glitches, get your account back on track. And Fair and LOS, I think it's Lashmi, are both very helpful if your account glitches, if something happens, or if you simply want to make a suggestion. You can email or you can message them directly on Discord and they can help you out. I've messaged both of them quite a bit and they have helped me out a lot. So I definitely suggest that you go and talk to them if you have a problem with your account. They talk directly to the devs and can get lots of stuff fixed quickly. Now I hope those playing SG take a second to realize, there's a lot of people that jump games. Okay, so all these people who have come and gone, and we know that they may very well come back at the patch, but I don't count on that kind of thing, which is why I made the suggestion that they move the actives over and get them so that they're all on one server, or at least mostly on one server, maybe 2 servers. Get the jumpers out of the mix so that we get an active server that's populated with people. And I'm really hoping they take that seriously, just like I was also hoping that they would take it seriously to give us a formation simply for PvP, so that they, we can all go and leave a PvP team in a formation. There's teams that I would use for strictly for PvP, and then there's teams that I would use for PvE. There's a couple of different people who don't play well together, but yet in PvP they do really well solo, with other characters, not really solo, but with other phantoms that you may have. Um, for instance, some of the other guys that I play with in the Icebreaker Guild have stated that Bloody Overlord and Zoe do not play well together. And really, I agree with them. Because Zoe keeps Bloody Overlord healed up so much, along with Clock. If you've got both of them in one, those two keep your team healed so much that BO never gets to take his 4 strikes. So if you're running both of those, then it does hinder you. And truthfully, if you're running either one of those with BO, any healer, it hinders him because he doesn't, take as much damage. He's always attacking with being full health, which means he only gets 1 strike. But those two together with, say, Zoe and Clock with SC, and then if you've got the infamous Arthur, who is so hard to get. I've only seen a couple of them on server 4. But that team is nasty because Clock speeds you up. SC takes everybody's attack bar down. And the two of them together make sure that your whole team gets a first strike against the other team if you're the fastest. That's the key. Your guys have to be faster than the others, because I have seen 2 clocks go off right after the other. And then the other team, because they had more speed, actually got the attack where if your clock and your SC are super fast, then your clock speeds up everybody, your SC goes, takes away their attack bar, slows down their whole team, gives your team the chance to get that initiative. And if you've got a Zoe and an Arthur sitting there with them, oh, that's just devastating. And if any of their team actually survives your Zoe attack, and they smack your Arthur, then they're so weak by that point that hopefully your Arthur just destroys them. And that's a team that doesn't have Bloody Overlord in it at all. So Bloody Overlord with other people other than Zoe and Clock, or at least without Zoe, can do some serious damage. Now you can also run with BO, you've got SC, you've got Clock, you've got Haley. If you run those 3 with BO, then you've got enough to sit there and make sure that they get no turns. Another thing that helps, because most people like it when their character goes fast, is here, let me show you. Oh, that character doesn't have one. So let's go here. This weapon right here. So if you've got, and it's not the best one, but it's a good example. If you've got this, it is called the Ice Dragon Saber. It does the single attacks, but when attacking enemy with cold status, additionally it takes damage. But the real kicker is down here. When attacking, there's a 60% chance of applying cold status. Oh, okay, so here we go. Absorbs attack bar. Absorbs attack bar. That gives your main character the chance, and usually they go first since this thing has so much speed attached to it, 420. Then if you have speed to here, to your armor, you can kick it up to where your character almost always goes first. So you can attack on manual, their clock, take his attack bar down. Then your clock goes, takes your attack bar up for everybody. SC goes, takes her attack bar down. Haley goes, takes her attack bar down again, and it's an all attack, so it hits everybody. Then your BO goes. Now, you notice I didn't mention Puppet. If you're running that kind of setup, you don't need Puppet. Because Puppet, sure, she decreases defense, but if you're hitting that hard and they're never taking an attack, then there's no need for Puppet, because they're going to be dead before they have a chance to do anything. Now, switching Puppet out for Haley is ultimate. I've seen some really good teams with that. So, if you can get a Puppet, use her in that spot for Haley. If you don't have Puppet, like my Bones Dragon account. It does not have puppet. So I like to use Haley in that spot because she's an all attack just like puppet is. You can also put the runes on there to stun people, which comes in handy. If their whole team's stunned, then they definitely got to wait till their turn, and they miss a turn. So not only did you steal their attack bars, but then you took their whole turn away from them because their whole team's stunned. So you got a couple different strategies there you can do in PvP. And if you set up a team for PvP in the formations that's strictly for that, then you don't have to worry about switching it out every time. You can leave it there. When you're doing PvE, you don't have to worry about somebody coming up and going, oh look, I can just wipe him out right now, and then you have to come back and fight your way back up to the top. With that in mind, with the way that the PvP is at the moment, I think that is the only way to fix it. If we can set up our teams how we want and leave it there. That way, when we're out doing PvE, we can use PvE teams and not have to worry about losing our going back and spending the attack scrolls in the PvP section. So let me get back to Bones Dragon here. I opened all the books up, so we're going to see about Evo and a few things. I've got enough to definitely make an Evo 4 when it comes to money and life essence. Well, gold and life essence, however you want to put it. I need to get those experience boosters out of there, but I'd like to save them for when clock goes up. It just kind of depends. I may have to solo take up the fire guys just so I can go around the other. It depends on how much of the Evo materials I have, which is another concern that most of us have had about when they drop the patch. And we've all made our voices heard. They're listening to us. They're making the changes. We just don't know when they're going to be made or how they're going to affect us. So let's see. Let's go back up here. And since it's 15, let's get rid of that. Oh, no. Okay, that's not an SS. So I'll go ahead and use that anyways. Okay, so we can make 2 3s, one there and one there. However, because I'm missing one, I'll have to go farm a dark one real quick. Okay, so after all that work, that's at the Evos. We have 1 3, 2 3s, and let's see what we can do about somebody. Oh no, not an SS. Do not level one an S. See, he's an SS also, but I want to hold on to him. And it looks like I don't have any other colored SS's. Nothing dropped when I was opening. Still plenty of food, and here's all the fires. I mean, if it wasn't for those one guys being in the way. Let's see what we got. What I can do. Okay, let's just burn those things out of the way. That way when I take him up, the experience is automatically transferred into him from this character. I still think that you lose some experience, even though it says it'll be transferred. It just seems like it. I can't prove it. There's no way to gauge unless somebody can come up with a way. When you Evo, do you lose experience? Do you lose a certain amount of that experience that you put into that character that you've been Evoing? So let's pop both of them. Oh, no, only one. Still takes us back to the only SS we have is her. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of check here, glory, and let's see if I get lucky and get one dark out of that. Would be nice. Yes, I did. So there's 2 darks. Now I can come back to here and finish up with the 3. Now, I'm going to have to go over here and take this 3 out of the formation of my energy dump. And let's go ahead and take him out too, since we're going to be using him for this. Save a little time. Okay. Where is that third 3? Now, let's just go back, check our materials, save a little time from, and you notice my materials are starting to go low on this person. I'll take that up, do some farming. But the good thing about 3s is you use a totally different Evo material, which you notice I've got tons of those. Because it takes so many to take the others up, it takes forever to use any of those. You've always got extra, which is what we're hoping we get something that lets us take these, break them down into the 1s, so the Evo isn't such a pain. Now it doesn't matter what color they are at this level. So we got our 2 4s with tons of experience in them. Clock should be able to go straight to 140, or pretty close. $136. Look at that. Let's see what we got here. Got a 45 there. Let's go to Evo. 77, 45. Okay, so I should have 50 diamonds still. Yep, 532. So go to sacrifice, experience transfer. Clock, move your butt over there. Now I'm going to make it, let's see if this is enough, because I'd like to say the 77. No, it's not. So let's go ahead and use the 77 first. Boom, straight to 140. Use a little extra, well, have a little leftover, which I wish that would, take the leftover and just leave it in the one you're taking it from. But unfortunately, they don't let you do that. As you see, now clock is 140, which gives him a little bit more health, a little bit more defense. One other thing I want to do real quick before we take him in. Check his runes. As you see, my clock runes are new. I just got them. So let's do a little bit of work on clock's runes. Not going to worry about taking them up a lot. Believe it or not, the runes are helpful, but they're not the need-all be-all. What makes a huge difference in this game is the Evo of your characters. I don't care what anybody says. Sure, it's kind of a balance, but the balance is you need to take them up so that they're efficient for the level you're working with. I'm going to show you right here that just being 140 is going to mean that he's going to stay alive a little bit longer. I don't care what's on the runes at this point. The speed helps. So taking this up, the speed rune up, would be beneficial. What I want to take up first is to get him a little extra defense. So, and as you notice, blues are not any kind of a concern. I'm not even checking them. I'm just going to use them. Sometimes I have to. Let's see. Now these I'll be a little bit more picky on. Let's see what we can do. That's not really good to me. That's definitely not. Considering it's a defense rune, it could be beneficial. So I'll hold on to it a little bit longer. That's trash because of this. That, same thing, open numbers. Now see, that's not too bad. If you're building somebody who's a physical and uses that, I would keep it. Another blue. Okay, that's a good one. That is a really good rune. Keeping it definitely. Hopefully it gets speed on it. This one, no. It's still got the plus 107 instead. Good rune. Bad rune. Bad rune. Not bad, not bad. Could be worse, but it's got crit and accuracy and resistance. So You don't really, I mean, if you're building a character for accuracy, then you want a lot of accuracy. The resistance comes in a little handy, but some people say the resistance in this game is broken. It doesn't work properly, so they don't even worry about it. And I'm kind of along that way of thinking that I'm not going to worry about it. Oops, I just noticed it went over 6. So let's back up. There we go. Just barely over 6. That's all you really need if you just take them to a certain number. That way, you can come back here and have enough runes to. Now see, that's a really good rune. Save all your ice ones. I think they are the best 2-piece that you can get. And I'll even take a second here and point out why. Okay, so as you see this one, and its 2-piece isn't bad, but it's not really, the need all be all. However, here, not only do you get physical and magic attack, but you also get crit rate. That is a keeper. You're going to get your magic attack, your accuracy, hit points, and it's, to get both of these on a hit point rune is rare. So keep it. Don't get rid of it. It's hard to get those in the first place. They're not exactly the most accessible ones in the game. So now that we've helped the clock out, let's check and see what we got here. Like I said, this is a new account. It's not even through its first 31 days. So the runes are not going to be up to spec. He was the farthest one behind, it looks like, and now that's fixed. But he's going to be just as useful, and I'm going to send another invite out to him so he can rejoin the squad. Make sure that this double formation is intact. This is what I want to back up the others. He is not for damage. These two are simply for turn control. Now I'm going to come over here and show you the setup. This is my GVH, okay? So having her, she's going to take down the defenses. Let's go to upgrade. And you notice she's a little bit more evolved. I still have to finish this rune. Unfortunately, I don't have enough runes to do that at the moment. Unless I want to eat one of my big ones that I'm saving for another set. Now, this is the damage dealers. Eventually, he will go bye-bye. I have other things that I would like to put there, but for GVH, I need those 180s. I could put Merlin in, and what that would do is boost both of the VOs up, but him not being 180 really hurts. I can try a little bit later. I've also got my Ankaras, who I am rebuilding her runes from scratch, so she is not ready to go anywhere in a hard content area, even though she's 160. Now I do have an SC, I've got my clock, I've got my other supports, a lot of 160s waiting for those new towers to come out, so that I have somebody to build off of. New towers are all supposed to be one faction, so if you want to say then one color even, let's go ahead and ship them in. And what I showed you there didn't take long. I hope it didn't bore you, but it's very beneficial to set up, even if you're running with other players. Talk about it, set up your team before you go in, especially if you're carrying somebody. If you're carrying somebody in there, in GVH, then try to get them to do the turn control. That way, you don't have to remove a damage dealer or a debuffer to make sure that your teams are running the most efficient setup. Take your big boy, whoever the big boy is, and have them put 2 DPSs in. 1 DPS and a debuffer, like I did on Natasha, is awesome. Turn controllers are once again awesome. You notice, like I said, most of the time characters go first. They have the best chance of getting that speed. There goes Haley, putting out a little pain, and then we got a BO going. Pure destruction. Here goes another one. Boom, boom, out go the lights. And for the follow-up, LOS, cleans house. As I've said in the past, some people think he is not in game. However, he does go off of his hit points. So if you can get his, well, that big all attack goes off of hit points. If you can get his hit points up along with his crit rate and crit damage and a good enough speed, he does good damage. It doesn't matter who he's going against. And in this game, it is just as it states, play what you got. So if you don't have somebody better than LOS, you get him early usually. You can farm him once you get far enough in the Phantom Abode. And with proper crit rate, crit damage, he just is a destroyer. That first round, everybody's dead except for Grenia, however you pronounce it. They don't even play. This setup is death. Take the time and talk to your teammates when you're going into GVH if you're using it. I know some people come in here solo nowadays, but not everybody can just boom and go in here solo. It takes a while to build up your team. You got to have rooms. You got to have a good armor set. You got to have good phantoms. GVH is a pain to farm. Some of these bosses will just destroy you without even blinking an eye. There's times you run into the vampires that you pass up, hopefully, so you don't have to deal with them. And those vampires can wipe a team. If you don't have good defense, if you don't have at least a couple 180s in there, those vampires are going to destroy you because they all come in with the same all attack. There's 3 of them, they smack, and everybody drops. I've seen entire teams just fall when, we all came in here at 160s. 160s can do this. If your runes are up, if your armors are up, 160s can carry you on through with the proper team. You got to have the turn control. Got to have decreased defense. Got to have a really good smacker. Puppet can be one of the best DPSers, but you've got to have the rest of them to go with it. The team I'm building now on Natasha is BO, and then Puppet, and then Clock, and I've got a Zoe. Okay, I know I said that she's not always the best with it, but for the moment, it's play what you got. So when I get somebody good enough to replace Zoe, I do not have an SC on this account, on the Natasha account. So Zoe's being used. Later on, when I get somebody to replace her, either turn control or decreased defense, whatever, more than likely turn control. I'd like to get an SC and put it in that spot for that 4th spot. That way I have the exact setup that I want for that team. And then it'll be doing really well. But at the moment, Zoe's what I got, so I'm not getting rid of her. I did a few things that I had to get rid of some Evo or some carrot phantoms to Evo up Puppet to 180. Well, that made it so that I had to temporarily use Zoe in my 4-man team. Well, 5-man team if you count your character. But you notice Zoe's not mixed in with the 2 BOs who's running the GVH. So Clock does his job. They kill them faster. That kill all the ads before they can get their attacks and do damage. So I'm able to wipe these bosses pretty efficiently with this setup. As a 4-man team, I would say that Natasha is not quite up there with having to use Zoe at the moment. I'm hoping to get something else good. I don't have crystals to buy Dracula at the moment, or maybe I would buy a Dracula for Zoe because he may not have turn control, but what he does have is stun and sleep on. And he's another one that they're supposed to be reworking. So he's going to get stronger. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's not stronger. But if you get the right runes on him, maybe a set that lets him have an extra chance to stun, 2 chances to stun with his all attack, that'd be pretty nasty. Definitely give you a better chance to knock out those ads or keep them immobile. So it would still be turn control, even though he's not touching the attack bar. Because if they're stunned or slept, well, sleepers keep sleeping until they're hit. And all his attack have a chance to sleep. So Dracula can be a good one to use until you get something better. Now, even though these guys hit like freight trains, I'm still going to target Ankaras with all 3 characters. A little late, they all did their attack downs to other people, but now they should be able to keep her from doing her slash attack, which, there it goes. Clock bit the dust. So did Haley. See you later. But Puppet's going to bring one of them back. And as you see, once the team gets their thing done, so it's probably best to do manual when you first get in here so you can take away Ankaras' attack, and then I wouldn't have these 2 deaths over here. So that's my bad. But if you manual it, then you won't have to worry about it. Just like now Clock's out there. He's doing his thing. In 6 turns, Puppet will get to bring back Haley, and then she'll get less turns to take too. This Sevilla has quite a bit of defense. She's got a big old shield she puts up, and it can absorb massive amounts of damage. So even with this team shattering every single other boss in here within seconds, it's going to take a minute to take her down. That's probably the longest part. Now, I have seen people with a Zoe who have come in here with Zoe's big hit and just annihilate her and move that bar all the way down. But if you're running BOs, you can't, like I said before, it's kind of counterproductive to run the Zoe with it. I would imagine that Arthur and Zoe would just destroy her because of his hits being his triple hit and then his all hit being so devastating, and along with her single hit being so devastating, they could probably just knock through that shield quick, especially if you're taking their defense down with Puppet. Now we should be getting Haley back here pretty soon, which will slow down, along with the weapons, her ability to put that shield up. I've seen it before where she really starts dropping because they stop letting her have attacks. So like if I had a third one of those sabers on my other character instead of the axe, it would probably do it even better. So PvP, maybe the axe is better because it does give you a 10% damage bonus. Just like the armor that 2 of my people have on give another 10% damage bonus. So if you're using the axe along with the armor, you get a 20% damage bonus to your people, which makes a big difference, especially if your crit rate and crit damage is high. Nice 20% kick just from having the proper gear on your characters. Like I said, though, Haley's back. Sevilla is getting no turns. Not being able to put that annoying shield up. The 140s obviously are not doing very much damage. It looks like these guys are still getting blocked. But we're also seeing paralyzed and everything else going on. Now there's a BO who just did 4 hits. And you notice her bar moved down. But like I said, I've seen Zoe nail that bar and just watch it drop like a fucking freight train. There you go. One quick run through GVH. That is my favorite team to run it with, which is why I wanted to take Clock up, because he was dying pretty quick. Most bosses could kill him, or any of the other people could kill him if they got a shot on him without even blinking an eye at 120. But if you want somebody to help you with GVH, try to get your people at least a 140. That's probably going to be about the end of this session. It's been 45 minutes long. I hope that there was enough content to help people. Let me know. Please give a like, maybe shares, whatever. If you liked it, if it helped you. If it didn't, well, let me know about it so I can change it and add content that might help you out more. Thank you very much. My name is Bones. I run Angela, Natasha, and Bones Dragon. They are my characters on server 4 in the Icebreaker Guild. Here's another one who's a friend of ours, friend of mine, Minato. Really strong PvP player. He probably comes in here and solos this dungeon. I mean, he's that strong. I can beat him with Angela, but he can come right back and beat me back. So I also believe that Minato is one of the ones who has Arthur, which is the part that gets Angela down, because Arthur is so destructive. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Catch y'all later.